everybody, it's time for the video of the day, and today's oil is Thieves Essential Oil. This one might be just a little bit longer than our other videos because there's a lot to say about Thieves. If you haven't heard about Thieves, then you probably don't have your starter kit, but you've probably heard about it if you have your kit or if you've been to a class. I went to my first class over 2 years ago, and I didn't remember a whole lot because there's a lot of information in those classes, but I do remember talking about some weird oil called Thieves, and I knew I wanted the oils. That, by the way, is one of the reasons we suggest you go to a couple of classes because there's a lot to learn, and we can't get it all in one class, and you can't really take it all in one class unless you are Sheldon Cooper. So, okay, anyway, Thieves. Thieves is a blend of 5 very special oils. If you ordered at all in June, you got the Essential Edge. Do you read these? You know, you really should at least try and read the articles from Gary Young. They're really interesting and there's good recipes. But I'm going to borrow some of the things he said about Thieves in here. I'm reading his book, by the way, which I'll try and get to later, but it's so good when it talks about his story with working with essential oils from where it was when he started 30 years ago to where it is now. It's just insanely amazing. But he went through a lot, and one of the things during his journey, he ended up going to school, and he talks about this here. He, by the way, has created this blend and patented it. So Young Living is the only one that could actually sell legally a Thieves Essential Oil. Okay, he says the creation of Young Living's Essential Oil Blend Thieves took a piece of history and combined it with research and created a top-selling blend that is in many products today of Young Living products. He talked about when he was studying in the Warwick University in England in 1991 and also visiting the London Library. He said, I've read 17 different versions of the Thieves story. Some claim there were 4, others claim there were 40. In my classes, I've heard 4 and 6. I've never heard 40. Many of these legends took place in the 15th century, but still others put the date in the 18th century. So, again, a reminder, this is the legend of the Thieves. There's not any factual based anything on this because nothing was written about it back then, right? And what he isn't mentioning here is the story takes place during the time of a certain plague. So that gives you a little hint of why they created this blend back then and now. He said, through my research, I was led to 4 key botanicals: clove, cinnamon, rosemary, and lemon. These were mentioned again and again with the herbs and the vinegar solutions. They would put them in vinegar solutions. I have read about that. Thieves vinegar, wives would clean with it. It's kind of an old wives' tale, which you should listen to. Any old wives out there? I've been married for 35 years, so I don't consider myself old, but I've been a wife for a long time. You younger girls, we know what we're talking about. We've been there, we've done that. Trust us. So anyway, in the old wives' tales, there's many instances of thieves' vinegar and how effective it cleaned, and they would really use it to scour their houses when they had to clean out the germs and things like that. So anyway, I mentioned a minute ago he used clove, cinnamon, rosemary, and lemon, which are 4 of the 5 oils that are in Thieves. He combined it with eucalyptus. And he said he combined them with eucalyptus or essential oil to make this essential oil blend, and he did it to just make it even more awesome. Today, it's known throughout the world as Young Living Thieves. There's nearly 20 products of Thieves products in Young Living. They've got a lot of them. We'll talk about them some other day. This is one of the catalogs that talks about the many, many, many Thieves products, and they've added to it. So this is sort of a benchmark oil with Young Living. So, what would you use Thieves for? Well, my favorite is in the diffuser. I have it going here in my Rainstone diffuser. My daughter had to use it this week she felt she needed it for some of the things that you can use Thieves for, which is basically cleaning all the stuff and the junk out of you and then the air. She uses it while she was sleeping. It really helped her with that. It was one of the ways I got her to even start using essential oils. She was going on her class trip. And I had heard that this can really boost your immunity. People put it on the bottoms of their feet every day to keep their immune system strong. So she was one of the kids that, well, I told her on her class trip to please just put a little bit on her feet every day, twice a day if she could. And she was one of the few kids that did not come back sick from the class trip. So she became an oily believer shortly after that, even though she thought it was crazy when I started. So these will also help cleanse the air. It smells wonderful. It smells like Christmas, so it smells divine when you do it. But if you indoors, when you've got those, or I should say, you know, in the seasons where the house is all closed up, that's when you really want to start diffusing Thieves, especially when everyone comes back into your home and complaining about the stuff they got going on. You know, you get that Thieves out because maybe they're coughing or sneezing all over the place and you don't want it. So this gets diffused a lot at my house at Christmas time. And I also like to add a little orange to it, by the way. If you're ever looking for a good oil to start expanding your oil repertoire, orange is one of them because it's such a happy oil. And diffused with Thieves, it just makes it better and it smells even better that way. So that's, you can also take Thieves Vitality internally. Remember we talked about what the vitality oils were and why they're called the vitality oils, but you can put it in a little bit of honey, or you can put it in a hot beverage of just water and lemon and Thieves and drink a nice soothing Thieves tea. I put it in for my daughter again this week. She's, you know, got a few things going on. She asked me for a Thieves pill that I make, and I just put 4 drops in a capsule, fill it the rest of the way with some olive oil. She takes it with food, and it really helps her. It helps all of us with that. So now, one other thing that Thieves is known for is profiled in this book called Nature's Mold RX. It's written by Dr. Edward Close. He's a PhD. He's one of the leaders in his field on black mold. And he wrote this entire book on what it can do. If you've ever been exposed to black mold, you know how dangerous that stuff is, and you know how hard it is to clean it. And it's really tough to clean, and if you clean it improperly and you breathe in those dead spores, you get really sick for a very long time. I know people that have suffered with that. If you encounter that ever, Thieves could be your best friend. Thieves itself or some of the Thieves cleaning products. So yeah, Nature's Mold RX. He also has a website called Mold RX for You. That's Mold RX, the number 4 and the letter U.com. They write about it once in a while. He was, as I said, the researcher. His wife happened to be using oils. She asked him to test it a little bit. So really interesting book. Okay, so those are some of the uses in Thieves. One of the ways I also like to use it, I just put it in a 4-ounce spray bottle. Maybe I'll put a picture of that up because I forgot to get that out. A 4-ounce spray bottle of water. I add 15 drops to it and a little bit of Epsom salt. You can't always be running the diffuser, right? So sometimes I just grab my bottle of Thieves and purify the air with that way. It's just, yeah, we keep this around. I travel with it. When I'm traveling on a plane, I'll just put a little, you know, right on my finger like this and press it right to the mouth. It's strong. You know, it'll be, whoo! Your mouth gets warm for a little bit, but I figure I'm going to get it in me right away. I put it on when I'm on the plane and after I get off the plane every time. Say you're fighting a little something, right? You want to maybe just do the same. Another reason why it's a good idea to carry this oil around in your purse. It's just it's a good defense system. So those are some of my favorite uses for Thieves. If some of you have some extra ones you want to put on there, we would appreciate it. So yeah, well, you know, Thieves the world, right? All right, thanks everybody. Bye-bye.